This is Rosen Institute's Your Law Firm, where Lee Rosen and Ned Days cover management, marketing, finance, and new technologies for building the practice you deserve. Here's Lee Rosen.
It's good to be with you today from Bangkok, where we thought we'd be staying for about 2 weeks before heading down to the beach for a couple of weeks. But we're here a little bit longer with an unexpected medical issue. We're very fortunate because Bangkok is a hub of medical tourism with some great doctors and hospitals. Lisa was able to get right in to see a doctor. They took action, and she's back in the game. And I have to say that as a regular user of American healthcare, and I'm a fan of my doctors who have kept me alive long beyond some predictions that were made back when I had a heart attack at age 37. But it's amazing when we use healthcare here because it's so fast, it's so reasonably priced, and it's so lacking in bureaucratic hassles. They just do a terrific job. But Lisa, she's all good. We're good to go, and we're gearing back up to get on the road.
It's time for your tech tip. I have a little bit of a lightning round for you today. Not 1, 2, or even 3, but 4 very useful and free tools for you to try. Actually 5, because I got all of these tools from a site called bestfreetools.io. This is a curated list of, as you would expect, free tools that mostly do one particular thing very well and do it for free. You can browse these listings by category like security, marketing, email, automation, and a lot more. The site itself is actually built with a no-code platform called Softer, which I have recommended before. I don't just pull all of this out of my ear. Sometimes I actually know things and make reasonable recommendations. So with that in mind, let's take a look at just a small sliver of the interesting tools available. The first is one I actually use quite regularly. It's mail-tester.com. This is a go-to first step in assessing spam issues with emails that you are sending. Keeping not just your marketing emails, but every email you send out of the spam folder is an increasingly challenging task. I pretty regularly see emails, not just from small law firms, but bigger companies that are sending emails I need to see, like my doctor's office or big regional HVAC companies, going into spam. It's something a lot of businesses struggle with. When you visit Mail Tester, you will see an email address. Copy that and send an email to it. You will get a detailed report and a spam score between 0 and 10. You get a lot of specifics on the message headline and content, things you may need to fix like formatting issues and missing alt tags on images. You'll get an indication of how well your emails are conforming to the growing array of verification specs like SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. And maybe most importantly, you'll be told if your sending IP is on a spam block list. This sometimes happens not because of anything you did, but because your email is being sent from a shared IP and someone else on that service is doing things that they shouldn't. Some of the issues on the report are a little bit cryptic, but it's a good starting point to figure out if there are problems and what you should be looking for when finding help to resolve them. Try it with messages from your Gmail or Outlook inbox, send a message from your email marketing software, and if you've connected your email to your practice management system and it is sending messages from your address, send one through that system as well. We have more services than ever sending emails on our behalf from our address, so you want to test them all. Next up is another tool I started using recently to keep tabs on keywords on Reddit. It's called f5bot.com, and it's pretty easy to set up. You create an account, specify the keywords you want to monitor, and it will send you an email whenever a new mention of that term appears on Reddit. You can set this up to be notified when your name or your website is mentioned, or when a specific person or software product or URL shows up in a comment, or more likely to track down 90s Happy Meal toys and celebrity feet pictures, since I'm assuming that's what you prefer to use Reddit to do. It allows you to search 2 other sites, Hacker News and Lobsters. These are really software developer-focused sites, so less likely to be of interest for Hamburglar figurines and photos of Charlton Heston in flip-flops. Now, F5Bot does have a paid plan that includes more keywords, instant emails, and an RSS feed if you prefer, but the free plan includes up to 200 keywords and will batch mentions into emails every 5 minutes. So unless it's absolutely critical that you see the latest pics of Dame Judi Dench's toes no more than 60 seconds after they first appear on Reddit, you will probably be okay with the free plan. While we are on the subject of salacious photos, let's talk about the next tool. It has the sexy title Online EXIF Data Viewer. It's available at jimpl.com. This site allows you to upload an image file and see all of the metadata embedded within. Most images, especially if they are just grabbed straight from a phone or camera, but even if they've been processed with a desktop tool and exported, usually have a lot of interesting information embedded in the file metadata. Details about the phone or camera used to take it, software used to edit it, GPS coordinates of where it was taken, the date it was created and modified, and all kinds of data that's probably very useful if you are attempting to snoop on photos, or that you would not want present if you need to share photos. If you go down to the bottom of the page, you will see a link to a tool on the same site to remove this EXIF metadata from images. You can do this on your own machine, but it usually requires having some clunky command line tools or specialty photo editing software. JIMPL lets you just upload the photo, strip the metadata, and then get the clean version back. Is it secure? Well, there's a message on the site saying that images are deleted after 24 hours and aren't shared with anyone. I'm pretty sure I read that you can't put anything on the internet unless it's true, so I think we're golden. In all seriousness, if this is something you will need for mission-critical tasks on a regular basis, I would look at desktop software for this, but you might find it interesting to upload a few photos and get a sense of what kind of information you're putting out there inadvertently. And finally, we have gowith.link. This is a straightforward URL shortener service. If you have a big, gnarly URL with all kinds of variables and tracking codes that you want to share, this makes it easy to get a much shorter link. You paste in the URL, get the shorter link, and you can even generate a QR code for shortened links if you want to share that or print it on something. There's some basic tracking functionality too, so you can see how many times and over what dates that link has been followed. Take a closer look at bestfreetools.io. There's a lot more to discover. What's this? 2 gigabytes of Dwayne Johnson in slides? Don't mind if I do. I'm Ned Days, and that's your tech tip.
And now for your moment of concise advice. You know, everybody wants the perfect vacation. I get it. Vacation time is precious, and we want to maximize our return on investment. Perfect is better than good, and good is leagues better than a total disaster. But after experiencing thousands of travel days myself, I can confidently tell you that the great days, they don't often stick with you the way the not-so-great days do. A big part of what we're doing when we travel, it goes beyond exploring and seeing and discovering. Those are all part of the equation, but the mission for us when we travel, I think it's quite simple. We're making memories. We're creating those moments that we'll recall forever. We're filling our brains with stories that we can call up and tell to ourselves. We're making memories of time spent with family and friends and new friends. And memories, I think they are ultimately the currency of travel. They are what we get, what we deposit into the bank, the memory bank. The perfect moments, they are enjoyable, and yes, they get told and retold and relished over the rest of our lives, but the truth is, it's the mistakes, the detours, the unexpected twists. Those are the things that end up shaping the memories that we carry with us forever. Those are the memories that stay at the front of the memory bank. Why? Well, because the things that don't go as planned, they leave an imprint. They leave a mark deeper and more vivid than those smooth, easy moments, those smooth, easy memories. These experiences, the ones where things go awry, they come with their own surprising benefits. There's a plus to having these experiences where things go off the rails, but that only happens if you allow yourself to embrace them. Let me explain what I mean. First of all, when you have one of these off-the-rails experiences, when things don't go as planned, there's emotional intensity. Those days when everything seems to go wrong, they evoke stronger feelings. There's frustration and fear and even wild laughter in the face of chaos. Those emotions, they carve the experience into your memory. They really make a dent. It's like your brain hits the record button in a way that it simply doesn't during a lazy, uninterrupted beach day. That's why you can vividly recall the time that you missed your train in Italy or you ended up stranded somewhere. But the fourth day of perfect sunsets at that beautiful beach, that all just sort of blurs together into the background. Also, with things that go wrong, there's the storytelling. No one sits down at dinner to tell a tale of the flawless day where nothing happened. No, the stories, they're the stories of the misadventures. Those are the stories that captivate. The time that you got hopelessly lost in Bangkok and found yourself at a street stall eating something unidentifiable but still delicious. Or when you locked yourself out of your Airbnb and you had to MacGyver a solution to get back in. These are the stories that you're going to tell over and over again for years. And beyond all of that, when things go awry, there's the personal growth. Every time you face a mishap or a hurdle, you learn something. You learn resilience. You learn to laugh at yourself. You learn to roll with the punches, and maybe you even learn to plan a little bit better for the next trip. But more than the logistical lessons, you gain self-awareness. You see who you are when plans fall apart, and that experience of learning about yourself, that can be incredibly empowering. And that kind of empowerment, it kicks your brain with a big shot of dopamine. Believe it or not, your brain rewards you when you overcome challenges, and you get a little rush of that feeling of, I did it. And that makes the experience oddly enjoyable when you look back on it. That's why even the worst travel days can feel oddly satisfying when you reflect on them weeks or months or years later. And then finally, these moments when things don't go as planned, they connect us. We all bond over shared experiences, especially the struggles that we share, that we experience. Telling your friend about that horrific night bus ride in South America or swapping airport disaster stories with a stranger, it builds empathy and camaraderie and connection. We connect through our collective humanity, through the fact that none of us gets it perfectly right all the time. Those experiences bring us closer together. So here today is the takeaway. Stop chasing perfection in your travels or in your life, for that matter. When things go off the rails, lean into it. These are the moments that become unforgettable, the ones that you'll laugh about someday, that you'll tell anybody who will listen. These memories, they're what transform a trip into an adventure and a mishap into a cherished memory. When a taxi doesn't show up, when the plane is delayed until the next day, when the hotel room is inhabited by some creatures other than your spouse and children, well, embrace the errors, embrace the mistakes, love the missteps. They're not just the bumps in the road. They are the road. And that's your moment of concise advice. Wrapping up from Bangkok, thanks for spending a few minutes with me and Ned today. We hope you have a great weekend and an even better week next week. Keep plugging away, moving forward, and getting things done. You're on the right track. You'll get there. I promise. We're all in this together, and together we build better practices through better marketing, better management, and better technology. Until next time, I'm Lee Rosen.
Thanks for listening to Your Law Firm. Subscribe to the Friday File at roseninstitute.com and join thousands of lawyers focused on working on instead of in their practices. You'll find safe, successful, actionable approaches for transforming your firm. Sign up for free at roseninstitute.com.